been, as you say, part of a lot of different projects with a lot of different names, and whether they were meant to last or were one-offs or just something to do at the time. It was always maybe a limited thing for me, but this is the type of thing, these days, really the only tangible bands I tour with would be Down and the solo band. So I wanted to make the solo band something that people could just easily identify with, and the label is Philip Anselmo. I mean, you can't go wrong. If you're a fan, you know what to expect to a certain degree, or at least you're buying my record, and you're not having to buy into a whole new band moniker and figure out the genre or whatever. So either way, Down is made up of several different bands. And, when we're apart, Jimmy's and I Hate God, and they're touring right now, and they got a brand new record that I've been helping produce and whatnot, and that's coming out, so that's going to demand time, and Kirk and Patter and Crowbar, so that takes up some time. So I wanted to do something tangible and real and hopefully staying. So that's why I started the solo band. That's why it's under my name, Cut and Dry Clear. With the solo band, I really wanted to make it a point to get guys that were under the radar instead of putting together some other super group, which I've already done, on a lesser level with Down, because, we are guys from the underground, and, despite my, success with Pantera, my heart has always lied within the underground of heavy metal extreme music, so, that's where I shall dwell. My whole mission was to destroy the club scene in Texas, and the thought of the club scene, and the protocol of the whole entire club scene. We started incorporating heavier music, and more people started coming out. I wasn't just the new guy anymore, and everybody started buying into it and coming out to the clubs, and they were packed. And then that was the point where I said, hey, I don't like glam music. I don't like popular rock and roll. I want to do what I want to do. And eventually, when we were packing these clubs, that's when I said, I am never wearing a pair of spandex again in my life. We're packing the clubs. What are they going to do about it? Turn us down? All they want is a packed house. It worked, I purposely shaved my head into a mohawk, threw the damn spandex in a pile of flames, and never turned back, man. A lot of people cite Black Flag, and that's, I guess, fair enough. And yes, I was a gigantic advocate. I love Black Flag, don't get me wrong, but really one of my first big influences as far as stripped down, no bull, gut level frontman was Roger Murray from Agnostic Front. So I can see where the lines cross between Rollins and Roger. So, I guess people relate me with Henry a lot, or they used to in the past, but our lives are quite different. But once again, it was a very conscious decision that I made, and good thing the fellas in Pantera were, up for the task, They were more straight shooters, heavy metal guys. Metallica was about as heavy as they got, and they were really, I guess more, Dimebag, if you look at him, he was the type of guitar player that was very much from the school of Eddie Van Halen and Randy Rhoads. And for that right automatically means he loved tasteful playing. For me to turn him on to Slayer, who took big cues with their leads from Greg Ginn from Black Flag, it was a bit of a task. But I do remember the day in 87, pardon me, that's like decades difference right there. 87, when I said, Dimebag, come here and listen to this. And I put on Slayer, Hella Waits, and we sat there, we toked one, and he's sitting there, and I watched him, and he had this big puffy, it was before his hair was long, it's like he had a big Q-tip on his head, and I saw that Q-tip start rocking, man. He started jamming. I knew right then and there we broke a little bit of ground. So, we already have some awesome riffs. We already have some killer parts. I've been writing lyrics, I guess, for about a year now, just to be geared up and have my ammunition, so to speak, ready. So honestly, I think if we put our heads into it this month coming up, there's really no reason in the world why it shouldn't be out the first quarter of next year. And as far as Payton goes, the kid with the terminal cancer goes, I asked him what he wanted to play. It was his choice. It's up to him, and really that whole thing, his wish was to just get up and jam with us at soundcheck. And I sat there and I listened to the kid and I was like, man, first of all, he came in the room and he was the most confident one. He was pumped up. It's like, wow, let's go, man. Let's jam this thing, high five, and let's get it. Guitar was like 8 times too big for him, and he tore it up on the guitar. So I said, well, man, why don't we have you up during the normal set and just, let's do it, man. Let's make this thing real. And little did I know at the time, but I guess because of the plan was for him just to come to soundcheck, I was made aware that his immune system was so low that he had to go back from soundcheck, go rest himself, then come back out to the show and do it again, which shows he's a fighter. And I think, I think the word terminal might be a little too strong for him. He's a fighting kid, and I'm hoping for the best. And we had a great time with him. And a beautiful, beautiful child. They're already out on YouTube and in certain formats, but all the song titles are absolutely wrong. I wrote those songs in 3 days. I had 3 days up there with Tony, and we wrote 3 songs. I was very, very inspired, and just for anybody that might watch this interview, the more up-tempo song is called Inversion of the Saviors, and the other song that we did was, believe it or not, about 10 years before Metallica, The Day That Never Comes. So, take that.